Hello and welcome. Last day, Formula Student Czech Republic 2026.
Yeah, Christian, it's a day earlier than usual. Already on Friday, we have the endurance today. But for the teams, obviously, it's not changing much, right?
No, not much is changing. I mean, basically only traveling home on a Friday, not on a Saturday. That's the biggest difference. But yeah, I mean, endurance we have today.
Yeah. 22-kilometer race on this, pretty similar track as per usual.
Yeah, plus minus 4 centimeters. That is what we were told. Again, we had this also last year. Track very much similar in comparison and basically identical to yesterday's autocross track.
Yes, correct. For those that didn't tune in yesterday, the autocross track that we usually have here in Czech Republic got shortened by quite a bit, by around 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. The big carousel section that we usually had at the very end got removed, so the drivers already got a little bit of a hint of the track that we are racing on today.
Yeah, I mean, basically the most trickiest part of the track, or the most favorite part of the track, got removed, I would say. But still, nevertheless, it was a very, very challenging track, which is also the case today, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just we got this drone shot right here above the mountain, which is the unique feature, I guess, of this track. Going up the slalom, up the hill, then the tight mountain section that we saw a lot of teams struggling with yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, the tight section is not really changed in comparison to yesterday. Will be challenging today. We also have, if we speak about the conditions, 1 minute, I think better conditions than yesterday. Yesterday was very, very gusty the whole day. We saw a lot of errors.
Yeah. And this was the case for basically everybody. It wasn't just for, I guess, the less experienced team, but also the very, very experienced teams really struggled with it, especially towards the end of the session, going downhill and coming back towards the end of the racing or towards the finish line. They really struggled. The wind was changing. It was really about getting that perfect run at the perfect time, and only a few teams managed so.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it was cold. It was very, very cold. Not only gusty.
We were freezing up here.
Yeah, insane. But today, complete different story. I'm thinking about getting my sunglasses out in a minute because sun. We have a lot of sun.
Yeah, it's actually almost the first time that we're seeing this. We had a little bit of sun during the afternoon session of the skid pad and acceleration on Wednesday afternoon. A little bit of sun yesterday morning as well, but since then it's just been cloudy all day. We had also rain during the night, Christian. How do you think that could influence the track today?
Yeah, I mean, what does it normally mean? I mean, especially here in Czech Republic, you have some areas where water is more present, like on the track still. We also see some wet spots still here in the right in front of the stage. So we expect this to be cleaned up over the course of the day. And I think, like, minimum in the afternoon session, everything will be dry and very, very much heated up.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, there's still a couple wet spots. I don't think there's any of these up on the mountain, up on the hill. Conditions definitely dry as well. Now we can also have a look at the first cars that are getting staged. We will start with the cars that are running out of order at the beginning. So those cars that didn't set any lap time so far, but passed scrutiny either yesterday evening or today's morning.
Yeah, some of these cars are already lined up. We see here the first runner of the day, I think, is car number E35.
Yeah, E35. And then behind them, Centauros Racing as well, E77 from Volos in Greece. With their first event of the year, they have scored decently, been in the upper midfield in the statics, as you can see here. Engineering design, 14th position, above 100 points, always, I guess, a good benchmark. Then cost manufacturing, even 9th position, and being in the middle of the pack for the business plan. A decent achievement there. Unfortunately, as you can see, could not start in the acceleration, skip pad, and autocross, but nevertheless, even greater to see them here today, that they are participating in the endurance. One of the 47 teams that we expect to see on track, or that we did expect to see on track before, but we already heard that one is pulling out of the running order.
Yeah, and I mean, for them, like also finishing scrutineering and now being able to get running here in the endurance is a huge achievement. We saw a lot of teams struggling. I mean, 47 teams actually got through everything. We also saw a lot of technical failures yesterday, dramatic failures, where we are not quite sure if the car will be able to run, so we keep you posted on that. But yeah, I mean, the technical challenges and also the scrutineering challenges here have been very, very hard.
Yeah, and Christian, we talked with a couple teams about this, and but we think we found at least one of the reasons, one of the part that played a factor here, and this is that there isn't an event before this, because we used to have not just one, but sometimes even two events with Netherlands and Austria before this.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge factor. I mean, being the first or the first time, some teams actually also postponed their first event, not going to Switzerland, to be more prepared to come here and get the most out of their car. But yeah, it's the first event. Like, everything needs to be started. You need to get the routines right. You need to get used to everything. A lot of new team members. For them, it's also the first event ever. Yeah, and this is also what we're seeing here.
Yeah, and therefore it's even better that they can still run in the end here, because in the end it's about building momentum for that event season.
Yeah, a lot of learnings. I'm pretty sure everyone now also starting out of order here in the beginning will come home with a lot of learnings, or maybe directly going to the next event. But yeah, it's a huge learning, and I'm pretty sure they will take it and make the most out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from that, as you mentioned, conditions are great. The field of cars that we see here is extremely tight. I think we can have a look at the overall standings for the EV category again. It's anything but decided so far.
Yeah, let's see if we can also maybe get it on screen again, but I think we will cover this multiple times today, because this has been also the story of last year. This is the story of this year. The field, the competitiveness of the field is insane, Jonas. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Again, for those that are the first time on the screen here, 9 of the top 10 ranked teams in the world ranking list are here. Only UAS Essling is missing. All the other ones are going to run today even, rather late, of course. They all had a rather decent autocross run, I would say, with some surprises, definitely.
Yeah, and with the competitiveness this high, I think the small things will actually make a difference. And this can be everything, right? Cones, off courses, maybe a slower car on track.
Yeah. And as we now see the first car, oh no, they're actually still preparing. Yeah, as you mentioned, small things will decide here, and it's not just about being first or being the fastest in endurance over the 22 kilometers, but it's also, we also have another discipline running simultaneously.
Yeah, and this is the efficiency. So we are not speaking about only lap times, we are also speaking about energy efficiency. And for us as commentators, I think it's very difficult because we can't judge it. Yeah, we can see lap times, but the efficiency, the energy consumed during these 22 kilometers is something we have no visibility on. So this will, if we have like close timings, maybe be the deciding factor here for the overall win.
Yeah, not just maybe, I think it will, because it was also the case last year. We saw E33 from Zurich taking the overall endurance win last year, but the team from Joanneum Graz being quicker or consuming less energy, and therefore, taking the overall win barely. And I think we saw it earlier here. Right now, it's only 1 point between them in provisional times, of course. We didn't add cones. We didn't add any penalties that they have got here. So only 1 point between them right now, and I don't think it could get any closer than this.
No, I mean, it definitely can't. It could be in theory, right, having the same points, but 1 point difference out of 1,000 points possible is still, I mean, as you said, it can't get any closer than this.
Yeah, and there's another I think 9 teams it was that are within reach of them still for the endurance. So yeah, the efficiency will definitely play a huge role here. But of course, more to that later on.
All right, we see car number 35 on not the final starting line, but in the preparation line. And we have multiple things there going on. So normally we have 3 stages. Maybe we can cover these really quick. First one is pre-scrutineering. Safety relevant parts getting checked, the car is getting pre-checked, also the equipment of the team is getting pre-checked, and afterwards we are directly going to the second stage where the driver is also, the RFID chip is getting checked, that actually the real, like the driver who also attended the team briefing is there, who had got all the safety briefings, etc. Yeah, and then we are moving to the starting line.
Yeah, that's true, Christian. Also, next car from Magdeburg getting pushed towards the starting line here. I think they were the first, that car is the first one that actually ran yesterday and is still, or is about to start now. And we will have the out of order runners before. Maybe explain really quickly what those are.
Yeah, so out of order normally are the cars that were not able to set a lap time in autocross. So the running order is basically inverse to the timing we had seen yesterday. So the fastest car in autocross is starting last year, having in theory the best track conditions, track heated up, a lot of, in theory, sun, especially for today, and a lot of rubber laid down, so the best track conditions. It's like a qualifying also for this. And yeah, the cars that were not able to set the lap time yesterday are now running out of order.
Yeah, and it's worth to mention as well that those times that the cars set yesterday are determining the running order without additional cones, meaning that the cars are usually on track with cars on similar paces, just that there's as little hold up as possible. Of course, not accounting for technical failures, because we've also seen a lot of cars stopping yesterday on track.
Yeah, this was actually one of the biggest surprises also to me. We saw a lot of also from the very, very high-ranking teams stopping on track, not being able to actually finish a lap or being able to run a lap without any mistakes. We saw multiple spins here, especially in the tailwind section on the straight back. And Jonas, do you think this is potentially also happening today?
Well, as mentioned, the wind is not as strong. Also, because of that efficiency ranking that we have, people or the teams tend to run with a little bit less power than they do in the autocross. They tend to be a little less all in because, as yesterday, every cone that they hit, every time they lose the track, they get a time penalty. So it's super often it's worth more to not take the risk of, trying to push for the absolute best lap time every time, but taking it a little bit more careful and sparing your team 2 seconds every time.
Yeah, I think the keyword here is consistency, not hitting any cones, but also running consistently low lap times and not varying too much in that. And we saw a lot of also strong driver pairings, basically driving at similar times between first and second drivers. So yeah, it will be very interesting.
Yeah. In case there are cars on track on different paces, we have overtaking zones. I think there's 4 of them on the track here, marked with blue cones. This is where when a car gets a blue flag, the car can pull out or needs to pull out, essentially. Lets the faster car pass from behind and then can go on track again. This usually is a pretty quick procedure, I would say. But in case there's really a car having a little bit of an issue or is going really slow on track, this could really, really impact the car that is behind and just hold them up for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will see some stories again. Also last year, I still remember CTM versus TU Berlin, Fast Tube. Basically overtaking them back and forth on this track. We also had the driver here in interview later. yeah, I'm pretty sure we will see something like this or completely different, but similar spectacular today.
Question chat was whether there will be a top 5 as well. Right now, what the plan is, we will have a morning session. It's starting now, basically. That will be till 12, and then we will start again in the afternoon, 1:30, with the afternoon session, and that will run until, well, basically all the cars up until the top 5 are finished, and then the organizers will let the final 5 cars go on the track at the same time, yeah, making for the big finale, so to say.
Yeah, and this will be very spectacular. I mean, the timings were basically within 1 second in the autocross. All 5 in the top 5 are pretty much on a similar pace. With 1 and 2 drivers, then, as we said, consistency will be key, efficiency will be key. Yeah, and I'm pretty excited actually to see the different strategies of every single team here. Maybe we can use the time. Just a small hint before we start here with the first car. We have a new subscriber goal, 2,000 subscriptions. We achieved our goal actually a little bit earlier than we expected, 1,500 yesterday. We're already over it already now. But yeah, for today, 2,000 is the goal. So if you haven't, please subscribe.
Yeah, for the goal yesterday, we're getting a surprise from Skoda definitely at the award ceremony today, I was told. And for 2,000 subscribers, I'm sure that they also have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, maybe you have some suggestions. Just put them in the chat. What we can do when we have 2,000 subscriptions. Yeah, then let us know if you have any ideas.
Yeah, it's a lot of puns here. Skoda guys and girls, I'm sure they will take a bath either at the award ceremony as well if we get to 2,000 subscribers. But whatever your ideas are here. First car, now almost ready. They do look like they're all prepared. No team member is close to the car anymore, or touching the car anymore. Green light still on, of course. The high voltage system not engaged. But yeah, just waiting for the green flag from the officials, and then making their way as the first car onto the track. And being one of the first cars could also be an advantage sometimes. We've seen a couple times that the conditions do change, that it's nice to be in, have somewhat of a clean track. So yeah, some teams definitely went up the standings quite a bit while having one of the first runs.
Yeah, I think we also saw this last year. Basically, one of the cars putting up very, very fast lap times directly in the beginning. That's stood for a long time. The fastest time stood for a long time. Let's see if this is also happening today. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the conditions normally here in Czech Republic, we spoke about this yesterday a lot. They can change very, very quickly. We have the mountains here. They normally hold up the rain. But if they don't, then yeah, it gets very, very wet, very fast. But to be honest, I don't think we see this today. We haven't any projections going in this direction. Now we see the first car moving to the official starting line and the timekeeping. So Jonas, can you tell us something about the team?
Yeah, Krakow, founded in 2012, if I remember correctly. Pretty cool that they did the switch all the way to electric now. I think in 2024 they started first in France with in the concept category, but it seems like they're coming
the red light
to
is out. It's on again
now.
So this does not look like a smooth start. We hear the ready to drive sound, and it's moving again. Oh wow, if they can continue doing like this, then
yeah, it's good to
that
see.
will be a lot of tension here.
Taking it slow and steady for now. I mean, of course, it's the first time that we see them on track. this whole week. Great to see them running in the first place. It almost looks like they're picking up a bit speed now. First time for the driver as well to be in the car on the track for now, doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, he had the track walk earlier today and also yesterday. As we said, this track is similar. But this is now looking good.
Yeah, focus here, of course, on finishing the dynamics. All-wheel drive motor pioneers last year.
And we see here the beautiful drone shot. Now going in the downhill section, like completing, and then in the infield. And this is a section where we yesterday also saw a lot of mistakes, like technical mistakes, because this is a section where normally the tailwind hits. You lose a lot of downforce, but you also have heavy braking zones and tight corners.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just a recipe for mistakes, especially when it keeps on changing, you know. If the drivers can't adjust to the conditions, if they can't use their experience from the first lap in their second lap, because the conditions keep changing, then yeah, of course, this just leads to mistakes. And this is now the section that is new in the endurance. Of course, the track is, yeah, one circuit, and the cars, instead of finishing their lap before the bridge, they go beneath it, pass us here on the stage, and then make their way onto the second lap. Lap times, therefore, of course, a little bit higher than yesterday.
And the car's going slowly.
Yeah, it seems like they're struggling a bit with the hill.
Yeah, but got going again, so no problem there.
2:20 here, the first lap time. Of course, with that stopping, we will see the lap times drop massively. It looks twitchy, at least. In the corners, they don't seem to have any problems. The car turns in well.
Yeah, it seems to have a little bit of problem with the throttle, so it's not moving consistently forward.
Yeah, it's actually their first year as well that they introduced an autonomous system. Didn't participate in the autonomous disciplines, but definitely got valuable experience in the scrutineerings for that.
And now the car's going slowly again and picks up speed. Man, they could continue doing that. Well, yeah, let's hope they can get through it. You can see them here on the left side.
Do stop here. I mean, yeah, as mentioned, for them now, it's about gathering experience.
Yeah.
And this is actually tough to watch, Christian.
Yeah, it is. You don't really know what to what to expect in the next corner. It's crazy.
Driver just keeps losing power every now and then, goes on throttle again.
Yeah, he was also shaking his head when he was just driving past the stage here.
Yeah.
He's obviously not very happy with that, but let's see.
Of course, tough now for the officials as well to leave another car on track. If that car is running fine, it's going to get close to AGH racing rather quickly. And yeah, this is why you can see Adam from Löwe still waiting at the starting line. They can't let him on track, of course, now.
Yeah, and it's also always a little bit of a sports section for all the marshals around the track, because every time the car stops, the marshals start running, but then the car keeps going again. And everyone has to go
it's a good workout.
Yeah, it's a directly interval workout in the morning.
Yeah. It seems to struggle, especially with the hilly section, Christian. On the hill it looks fine, now it's a bit slower again. Yeah, coming to a stop here.
Again, we see the marsh moving, but I don't know what you think, but I think it's getting a little bit worse. I mean, in the first lap, we basically saw more consistent movement.
Yeah, that was just a big moment at the beginning. But yeah, second lap time was also not much quicker. Yeah, this will definitely be a nail biter, whether they will make all the 22 laps here or not. Again, 22 kilometers. It's exactly 1 kilometer per lap. So each driver, we will also have a driver change in between. Let's maybe walk through the procedure during the driver change for those that are new to Formula Student.
Yeah, maybe we will speak about it, I think, also when we see the first driver change here. But the rules state basically that you have 2 drivers need to drive in the endurance, and we have a driver change in the middle, so after 11 laps. But now the car seems to go fine.
Yeah, they picked up a lot of speed, actually.
Yeah, it's looking very, very good.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but this is great to see now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if the marshals also now gain a little bit of confidence in the car, they release the next one. Well, let's see if they can continue driving with that pace.
Yeah, interesting to see. I mean, again, this is about getting experience for them. They still have another event later in the season, going to FS Poland afterwards.
And just as I said it, car standing
Oh
again.
my god. Standing still now. Thumbs up though from the driver.
Yeah. And Marshall's going back
Wow.
again. I mean, it's not that hot yet, so better now than later, but yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of volunteers here, which is also great to see. So maybe they can switch around on that task over the endurance.
Yeah. But yeah, we mentioned this at the beginning already that we saw a lot of cars standing still for a couple seconds, then going again. Even some of the top teams, I think AMZ comes to mind there. Both of their autocross runs yesterday, they came to a stop. Also in the acceleration run yesterday.
Yeah, this is also very surprising, because you can, still have luck and finalize one lap, which also they did yesterday, and this was very, very fast. But in endurance, if something like this happens, you're basically losing so much time that you're out of contention. Yeah.
Hamburg had similar issues yesterday. I heard this morning that they are going home already. A bit sad, of course. So we are not going to have 47 cars on track. Instead, it's going to be 46, hopefully. They are going home to get their new accumulator ready for Formula Student Austria, which is starting shortly after FSCZ. So yeah, making their way back to Hamburg, getting some testing time in, and not participating at this FSCZ.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we will see this approach also for some of the other teams. We saw a lot of technical failures yesterday also. We will cover this also a little bit later, but yeah. Tough decisions.
E35 now definitely picking up the pace by quite a bit. 149 even with that stop up there, so definitely shows what this car is capable of. I think they got quite a bit of speed in there. It looks like they are running now somewhat consistently. Let's see what their first full lap time will be. And in the meantime, we see E22 making their way to the starting line for the first time of the week as well. Great to see those onboards provided here. And off they go.
Yeah, it's a crazy cool feature we have this year here. Onboard, being live.
Yeah, good luck to KU Löwe. They lost a lot of weight this year. I think more than 20 kilograms compared to last year. So definitely good job to them. We mentioned a couple times yesterday already what of an achievement that really is to drop that much weight for cars that are around 200 kilograms. So really, really impressive. They've been here the last couple of years as well. I think one thing that always comes to mind, of course, for me is when they, with the autonomous braking system, went into the barrier and lost their front wing, but remanufactured that front wing back in Belgium. And the next event, they had it back on at FSG back then. Really, really impressive. 2024 that was. But yeah, great to see them on track. Unfortunate that we didn't see them earlier. But yeah, nevertheless, great to have them on track now and see what their car can do here.
Yeah, I mean the mindset of not giving up seems to be still present in the team. We see here the onboard on the like on the back straight section, and you see how difficult it is also for the driver to keep track actually where you need to go. Now past the stage here.
Let's see what their first lap time is. AGH Racing put up a 1:39.99, and I'm sure this will be faster immediately. Over the line they go. Let's wait till the lap time is in.
Through the slalom section, this is looking very good. Up the hill.
1:24.29. Of course, on the overlay you can also see the delta to the leading time right now.
Cars stopping.
Oh! Wow, and this is something we've seen the last, especially yesterday as well, that the team struggled a lot with the hairpin up the hill.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the minimum radius corner you can have in Formula Student directly up the hill. You're going up, so it's not really visible, and in this section it's super, super tight. So yeah, the mechanical properties of the car needs to be fitting actually, that you can make it around the corner. We also saw some cars not being able to do that, but then the driver adapted and just drifted around this.
Yeah, it's really preference. The hairpin got a little bit nerfed. It's not as tight anymore as it was in autocross. But of course, for the drivers from Löwe, since they didn't have any chance to practice it before, tough for them, of course. But I don't think that he will have the same issues on the following laps. Yeah, getting tighter to the cones here as well. This is looking very good. Very consistent driving as well. The car does what you want. It turns in when he gets the steering wheel input. Looks decently set up.
Yeah, and they're looking quite good actually. It's actually really sad that we see them only today.
Question in the chat, Christian, is whether some teams manage to push the whole endurance using the whole 80 kilowatts of power. Yeah. Good question. I think some do, but it's definitely preference. Some, they prefer to use the high power output the entire time and then go off the throttle before the corners, sort of the lift and coast strategy. Also, of course, regenerating while braking. This is what some teams do, of course. But yeah, but it's tough to get information from teams exactly how much power they're using. But it's definitely getting close to the 80 kilowatts, I would say.
Yeah, it's basically the balance they need to find between lap time and the energy consumption. There's a formula defined by the rules that actually gives you basically an idea what you want to do, and then you mix it with the car concept you have and the powertrain system you have. Define this balance over the whole course of the event and not only endurance and efficiency, because when you run with full power you normally also need to have a bigger battery to be able to actually do that. This comes with other disadvantages and advantages regarding recuperation, but also energy deployment itself. So yeah, and this affects also all the other disciplines. So it's not an easy to answer question and very complex. While we see the first overtake.
Yeah, the first overtake of the day at a good spot, I would say. E22 from Löwe caught up to the car from Krakow at a very decent spot. Krakow got pulled out immediately, went into the overtaking zone, into the blue cones, and then E22 could pass them rather easily, and they switched positions. In the meantime, also E22 down to lap times of 1:16.2. So, yeah, improving quite a bit here. Average lap time also down to 1:20. Both cars going strong now.
We just saw also car 22 hitting a cone here right in front of the stage.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that is always super underestimated as well. how straining it is on the body to run those 11 kilometers per driver on a high level without hitting too many cones. You have to be concentrated really for those about 13 to 50 minutes straight. You have to be on your A game. The steering forces are really, really high actually. Really tough to be fit enough for the entire endurance.
Yeah, I mean, steering forces you can influence with your kinematics, but still, it is a tough challenge, and every driver has to go through it. And as we also spoke with some other teams, they put a lot of effort into making their drivers fit over the course of the year and actually preparing them as good as possible. But we see the onboard here, and also another car on track.
Yeah, that is Weingarten from Uni Weingarten, and it's also the first time that we've seen them on track the entire week. Great to see them, of course. They've been here last year as well, did really, really well in the acceleration. Unfortunately we didn't see them so far, but nevertheless, great to have them here now. Really looking forward to how they can perform. They looked very confident getting off the line here, up the hill, very quick. Looking forward to see their first lap time being posted.
Yeah, they're now, Weingarten now stuck behind E35, but I'm pretty sure this will be resolved now before the finish line. Yeah, going into the overtaking zone here, right in front of the stage. Well, we see car number 22 still making good progress here, very consistent. That's very good to see.
Yeah, the car is always called Stinger, so this is a Stinger 26E. The team cheering here, of course. Whenever Weingarten comes to mind, I still hear their 4-cylinder from like 2018 and 19. Always really impressive to hear them going up the hills there. But yeah, great also to see that they managed to build the electric cars now.
Yeah, let's hope the car is not making that sound today.
And now we got the onboard of the uphill section. Three cars on track. Meanwhile, AGH Racing almost at the driver change. Weingarten, and this is what we've seen last year as well. You could literally hear their front ring touching the ground under the bump, underneath the bridge here.
Yeah, and this is a lot of load going through the front wing. We actually didn't see any failure last year because this is something common, I would say, in Formula Student tracks, that there's a bump. Yeah, that the front wing is actually touching the ground in some cases. But yeah, it's very heavy here also, and we can always hear it when the car is passing by. And Weingarten, yeah, is touching the ground quite heavily here.
Yeah, but nevertheless, posting the fastest lap time of the day, extending their lead up to 6 seconds now to Formula Electric Belgium, who are still consistent around the high 110s here. Now about to overtake AGH Racing again. Of course, now a pretty bad spot to be behind them. They're still at lap times of around 140 to 150. So yeah, he will have to wait up until the next overtaking zone. This is especially bad on the long section.
Yeah, I think he has to wait a little bit until he gets to the next blue zone. In the meantime, Weingarten also catching up the group of cars here. And now we can go.
Yeah, their 5th electric car now. Eight seconds ahead of E22. Yeah, 3 cars on track right now. We know that the track is capable of having 5 cars on the track at the same time. But yeah, of course, the organizers have to think a little bit as well about the speed difference of the cars. I mean, especially now with those out-of-order runners, you sometimes have cars that are a bit slower compared to others that might be a bit quicker but didn't pass the technical inspections in time. At the same time, so it does make sense to not let all the cars on the track at the same time. Krakow now pulling in as well for Weingarten. This is of course great for them that they got the blue flag very early on.
Yeah, this was excellent timing also by the marshals here. Very good.
Yeah, and Krakow now pulling in for their driver change. Congratulations on finishing the first half of the endurance. They got 3 minutes now to get their second driver into the car and back on track.
Yeah, and this is always something that you need to also test before. That drivers, you are nervous, right? You're nervous getting out of the car, you're nervous getting into the car. Nothing is supposed to go wrong. And also the car is getting checked. We also saw a lot of cars not being able to continue running here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely something that we've seen a couple times in history, that cars, also combustion cars, I mean, you turn off the engine in the meantime, and you have to warm start them afterwards. So super often they didn't turn on again or had issues when restarting. Oil was found at some cars, and they just couldn't go again. Let's hope this is, of course, not the case with AGH Racing. They looked very routine in their driver change, taking their time, but obviously not being lazy here.
Yeah, and Weingarten really putting up very, very good lap times here also. Super consistent again, 1:13.
Yeah, another quickest lap time here, 1:13.31. Also their best lap time. Average lap time down to 1:16.25.
Yeah, frequently beating their own time. Gap delta currently minus 20 seconds. Fifth lap ongoing. In the meantime, we see the next car on track, and I think it's the first combustion car for today.
You're right, Christian. There's overall 52 electric cars, 54 electric cars signed up here at Czech, 16 combustion cars. So, yeah. Less, definitely, quite a bit less. So we are not going to hear that many engine sounds. Yeah, Weingarten now looking even more consistent. This might be another fastest lap time of them. (1:14.74). Not an improvement, but still one of the quickest times we've seen today. Car 22 mittlerweile.
Yeah, now we see an unfortunate situation, because this needs to be cleared up now by the marshals. All three cars right behind each other. What you, Jonas, mentioned earlier, right? It's difficult. You have cars with such different pace here during the out of order running.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just, you know, it's about luck here as well. But this is especially why the autocross is so important. Now, of course, car E22 not getting blue flags in this case, since they post very similar lap times, but Weingarten still those 2 to 3 seconds per lap quicker. But I guess the marshals didn't pull in E22 because they are also going to their driver change.
Yeah, great overview of the track marshals here to just get this solved as fast as possible.
C96 from TU Liberec also now finishing their first lap. (2:10) and posting the first combustion time of this afternoon.
Yeah, one of the many Czech home teams we have here.
And AGH Racing is back on track. Everything worked fine during the driver change.
And now we can also see on board the process of the driver change. Maybe some words, Jonas, about the driver change. What are the rules?
Yeah, so basically only one person is allowed to touch the car, which is usually the other driver. The first driver is getting out of the car as quick as possible while lengthening the belts as well. And then the next driver is getting in.
Yeah, in general. You're also not allowed as a team member to push any additional buttons except for combustion cars. It was always the master switch that was allowed to be turned off and on again by a team member. But in this case, yeah, everything looking good. The team looks like they know what they're doing. Well, we now have 3 cars on track. Also their blue flag, and Weingarten is pulling ahead.
Yeah, Liberets improving their second lap time by quite a bit. They were here last year, unfortunately did not finish the endurance. They ran the acceleration there, but then finished the endurance in Poland, where they also won the acceleration actually. So the team definitely does know how to build combustion cars. 13th overall for them last year, and I'm sure they will try to beat that this year.
Yeah, and I'm pretty stoked about the consistency of the Weingarten driver. Put in 2 laps of 1:13. Now, obviously, because of the overtake, he lost around 10 to 12 seconds. Yeah, but this is how it goes, right? They're still the fastest car on track, and this is also kind of the disadvantage you have, right? Not running in autocross, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The back quick now. Also, Liberets here. Extremely loud when touching the ground after the bridge. But up the hill they go. They keep getting quicker. It just keeps looking faster every single lap. And meanwhile, E22 back on the starting line. Driver change worked fine, and we now got the first heart rate monitor on him, on the driver as well. And you can see an immediate spike on his heart rate here from 140 to 147. Let's see where it is at the end of the endurance. Weingarten losing a little bit of pace, I would say.
Yeah, you're right, I think. Especially now in the uphill section. It looks definitely slower. But it's also only 1 lap to go until they go to the driver change.
Oh, there's a bunch of cones there for toll racing. And this might have actually been one of the cases. I mean, I feel it now here on stage that there was a little bit of wind coming in, and this might have caught him by surprise. Wind from the back, obviously, creating a little bit of lift, and therefore, yeah, making the car lose some downforce, but recovered pretty well from the driver.
Yeah, and now I think we're again in a similar situation as earlier. 3 cars right behind each other, slowest in front, the others catching up. 2 electric, 1 combustion car in the middle, and Weingarten also now picking up the pace. But off they go to the driver change. Congrats for the first half here.
Yeah, first half done, 11 laps to go. Currently in the lead for the electric category, of course. 2 cars passing at the same time. This is also good sight to see that the marshals had this under control. It's also, of course, about signaling the driver that is sitting in the car. They have no rear mirrors, of course. And there's 2 cars passing you, not just one, so it doesn't get going after the first car is through. But seemingly did a really well job here. E22 now also passing Tool Racing, and a lot of free tarmac ahead of them.
Yeah, and I think it's actually, I mean, there's even one situation that is more harder, that when you have the slowest car in front, but the speed difference is not as big. So the car is still catching up, the car that's getting overtaken is still catching up, and then you are in the next overtaking zone, and the 2 cars are basically lapping back. Yeah, this is not how it went here, but yeah, the marshals are doing a great job so far.
Yeah, heart rate stays between 140 and 150. Stays pretty cool for now, but again, only 2 laps in so far.
Yeah, it hasn't changed yet, so dramatic, so let's see how he keeps going. And car number C96, really loud, touching the ground here in front of the stage. I don't know if you can hear it in the stream, but yeah, front wing looks, well not looks, but sounds definitely, yeah, very low.
For Electric Belgium now almost taking the overall lead off of AGH Racing. Caught up so much time to them, clipping a cone here, but I think it stayed in the box, Christian. I think we have to explain again how the penalties count when the cones are touched.
Yeah, so if the cone is basically flipping over or out of the marked definition area that is basically marking around the base of the cone, then you get 2 seconds extra, and then you have the specific case of an off-course. An off-course is when you leave the track and re-enter it in a different area and not through the same cone set that you left it. Then you also get penalties. What's the penalty for that, Jonas?
Yeah, penalty for an off-course. You get more than 2 seconds, 10 seconds it is, I think. And yeah, definitely undesired, of course.
Yeah, normally an off-course, if we speak about it, an off-course always, or not always, but most of the time also comes with some cones hit. So it's not only 10 seconds in most of the cases. Yeah, it's a huge hit for your overall endurance time.
Yeah, Weingarten now back at the starting line. Every car pretty consistent, pretty reliable so far. It is not too common actually. Last year we had 15 electric vehicles finishing the endurance overall, considering that there's 54. Last year I think it was 52 that were signed up for the electric category. It's not that much. So yeah, it seems like the teams worked on reliability so far. Let's hope they can continue to keep this going.
Yeah, let's not jinx it, but we haven't seen a single DNF yet, and we are already close to seeing the first finishers today.
Marshals now, of course, waiting for the perfect moment to leave to get Weingarten on track. They've been the quickest car on track before their driver change, so they're trying to give them as much space as possible before they get going, to not catch up to the other cars too quickly and not cost them time and also not cost their competitors time.
Yeah,
AGH Racing now also pulling in here for the driver change. E22 overtaking them again. In the lead now, definitely.
Yeah, it's a tough job to manage that here, but also, again, well done.
Yeah, Liberets now finishing their 7th lap here, catching up to AGH Racing. I'm sure on the uphill overtaking zone, they will also get past them. Really excited to see whether Weingarten can put up similar lap times as they did before. We mentioned earlier they got a little bit slower compared to their fastest lap time at the beginning. But yeah, as long as they stay consistent here, I'm sure they're in for a good finish so far. Car is looking good, driver's getting more comfortable.
Yeah, he's driving a lot more aggressive than the first driver. I think Lucas is his name. Drifting around the corner here. Also up the hill section.
Wow, you can see the car sliding in almost every corner. He's throwing it around the corners, really.
He will definitely have some heat in the rear tires. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah, yeah. First lap time in 1:22.6, just about where his colleague left him off of. But again, it's his first lap. Tire temperatures have to get up as well again after the 3 minutes of standing still during the driver change.
Yeah, first lap for him, and also first lap for him the whole event, right? So not much learning so far for the team, but yeah, this is looking good.
Question in the chat, how teams are ranked by amount of laps or by lap time in the endurance. It is by lap time. All of the teams have to finish the 22 laps.
Yeah, he's definitely going a little bit more aggressive than the first one.
Pushing it, but I haven't seen any cones so far, so it seems like he's got it under control. A little less sliding now up the hill. It seems like the tires are properly heated up now. Getting that temperature, and you want that sweet spot between 65 to 80 degrees. Overheating, of course, losing a lot of grip, not getting the heat in. We've also seen that with a couple teams that just use too hard of a compound. Also lets them slide a lot.
Yeah, so far he's also not matching the other driver's lap time. But yeah, also only second lap now.
Yeah, but picking up pace, 118.98. Of course, in the meantime, E22 posting extremely consistent lap times. Also posted the quickest lap of the day, the 1:12.35. Getting past AGH Racing now. Oh, man, it's it's really incredible to see the car from E80 from Weingarten right ahead of us.
Yeah, he's basically like blocking the rear wheels while going around the corner. Have you seen any cones? I haven't.
Nope. No, he's just got it under control. I mean, maybe this is just his way, his style of driving.
Yeah, he will definitely have no problems in the hairpin up the hill.
That's true. That's true. Fastest car on track right now, E22 from Löwe. Formula Electric Belgium. Almost catching up a little bit now to Formula SAE and Weingarten, but only 3 more laps to go, so they might get away without needing to pass them before.
Yeah, just very consistent and casually beating the best time we've seen so far.
Question in the chat whether the Skoda dance already happened. No, it did not happen. It will happen at this afternoon at the award ceremony. So tune in for that. Liberals in the meantime taking a couple cones here. Marshall's trying to pick them up as quickly as possible. Wow. It's really impressive to see how the Weingarten driver handles the car. This is also, of course, a topic about drivability. You want to give your drivers a car that is not just quick, but also that he can get confidence in quickly and just be that put out consistent lap times. And this, of course, requires a good balance, a lot of testing time, of course, that unfortunately they couldn't get on the track so far. So of course struggling a bit with that. Nevertheless, great job so far. Now getting caught by E22.
Yeah, I think we are about to see something that we haven't seen before. Car of Weingarten getting overtaken here. Let's see what the marshals decide, but I think this should be clear. Yeah, blue flags getting ready for E60.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to say that car from Belgium, from Formula Electric Belgium, really consistent. First and second driver posting about the similar lap times, 1:12.35, the quickest one as mentioned earlier, up to 1:14. So always in that 1 to 2 seconds range. Great to see.
Yeah, he's getting really confident. And look how he is going through this uphill section.
Again, a reminder, of course, that you can vote for the best livery in the chat. The polls are in the description and are getting repeatedly posted in the chat, as well as for your favorite driver or team of the endurance that impressed you the most.
And also the first combustion car we see pulling up to the driver change. 11 laps done. Meanwhile, blue flags.
Yeah, Christian, I think AGH Racing is running into some issues again here.
Yeah, they don't have many laps to go, so let's hope they can manage it over the finish line.
And there's the official confirmation again that the scooter dance will happen this evening. Weingarten now trying to stick to the car from Formula Electric Belgium. But they finished the endurance before they could get caught here. Congratulations to E22 Formula Electric Belgium, 22 kilometers in the bag, the first finisher of the endurance at Formula Student Check 2022.
Yeah, and with an average lap time of 1:18.54, so very good, very consistent. Especially also the second driver really, pushed for it and overtook also Weingarten back. So yeah, great achievement. Congratulations.
The next car in line to finish the endurance, of course, AGH Racing. We're the first car on track today. Had some issues at the beginning.
Yeah, currently also lapping roughly 20 seconds slower than their best lap time so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen them pass us for a while, but they are still going down the hill.
We see them down in the downhill section, still going. I mean, we are used to that, right? From the car, just going a little bit slowly from time to time.
The amount,
technical issues.
Sorry, Christian, but the amount of steering input that the driver from E60 has to put in is incredible. It's like a completely different tactic compared to the first driver. Maybe it's also the control system acting a little bit differently here. Or maybe it's just preference.
Yeah, maybe just driving style, different approach also here. Yeah.
But yeah,
35,
just as E22 pulled out, we got the next car on track, E14 from Uni Navarra, starting their 22 laps of the endurance. Overlay now, of course, also showing the top 5, the current top 5. Only finishers so far, Formula Electric Belgium. Question in the chat what the major difference is compared to yesterday's autocross track out, Christian mentioned earlier, but maybe you can repeat it.
We will repeat that as many times as we need to. So, the differences on the track in itself are very minor. So we just had some slight adjustment in some areas. The hairpin you mentioned, it's a little bit easier today as it was yesterday. But the major difference we have is between the finish and the starting line yesterday. They were on the opposite, or more or less like opposite here of the track, that you have to run slowly and then select the first and second run queue. But today it's just basically linked. So we have a closed loop for the endurance track, which adds around 100, 150 meters. So we're now having 1 kilometer per lap in the endurance. So yeah, not really big differences, but still a small section added.
Michel now as the second driver for Tool Racing. Engine is off though at the starting line, as far as we could hear. Let's hope they can get it restarted for the second run. But yeah, in the meantime, AGH Racing approaching the finish line, going over it and finishing their endurance. Congratulations here, second finisher from University of Krakow.
Yeah, congratulations, great achievement. Also to finish the endurance. Great success.
Yeah, and I really have to say, Christian, I'm really impressed by all these teams pushing the entire week, not being able to drive so far. The two finishers that we've seen so far didn't put us in a single lap time before, and now both of them finished endurance. Really impressive that they didn't give up the entire time and yeah, made it to the end now.
Yeah, remarkable achievement. And I think this also, like the mindset, not giving up, present in all these teams, is really showing here. And it's also, yeah, obviously worth it. I mean, finishing the endurance directly. And we've seen a lot of teams actually like going very strong over the course of the out of order running here so far. I'm very impressed. I think we haven't seen this in a while.
Yeah, 3 cars on track now. E60, of course, from Weingarten. Taking a couple cones here. Was bound to happen, of course, the driving style.
Yeah, but also maybe a little bit over the course of the second of the endurance. I mean, we said it earlier, right? You need to be focused all the time, and then just suddenly, when the exhaustion comes in, you're getting a little bit unconcentrated, and then mistakes like this happen. Well, we see some issues with car number 96. It sounds a little bit like the clutch is not really gripping.
Yeah. It seems like the revs are just going up without any power here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's not moving at all when it's revving up,
Yeah.
but it's just revving a lot, like going a lot slower, accelerating a lot slower. So just something slipping through. Yeah, big drift here from Weingarten again. He's even drifting here on the straight,
yeah.
man. It's right in front of the straight.
The confidence on throttle and brake is just remarkable. Finishing the endurance now, the overlay a little bit off as of now, but the University of Weingarten also over the finish line.
Yeah, drifting into the finish zone here. Perfect. Congratulations.
Yeah, 3 cars already finished. We haven't seen a single DNF, Christian. Great to see Union Navarra now the next.
Yeah, don't jinx it. Don't
on
jinx
the
it,
track. Just passing us here. Only them and FS Tool Racing on track right now.
Yeah, also C96 still going.
Yeah,
Same issue still present, as it sounds like.
Yeah, those upcoming 9 laps are definitely going to be long for them. But as long as they are going, they are going.
Yeah, I mean, Marshall's taking a close look on what's going on.
And it looks like they're actually getting a bit slower as well.
Yeah, it looks like the driver found a state where he can just go constant at like constant speed. And I think he just tried to go through it. But let's see if he gets up the hill, because this can be an issue if your clutch is not really working well.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Yeah,
the next electric car on track, E20 from Magdeburg, UMD Racing. And yeah, in the meantime, let's have a look again at the provisional top 10 overall for the EV. As mentioned earlier, provisionally there's only 1 point between AMZ and Dionium Graz Racing. And yeah, about another 5 to 6 teams in contention with them still, only around 50 points back.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't have a favorite here. We can't say who is actually going to win it with margins this close.
Yeah. UMD. They came very late through the statics yesterday morning. Got an acceleration run in very, very late. Skid pit run disqualified there, apparently. Not sure if that was in the post-scrutineering. It's been pretty tough here. The scrutineers really look out for a lot of things, especially in acceleration and skid pad. And they will do the same here in endurance, of course. But yeah, then coming back for the autocross, finishing the autocross, or finishing their run in the autocross, and now in endurance.
Yeah, I mean, post-scrutiny has been hard here, but obviously what comes to that is also the experience of the team. It's the first event in general for all the teams. Not for all the teams, but for most of the teams. So yeah, this adds an extra layer of complexity for this challenge. And C96 still going, consistent. Driver hitting the ref limiter here. If it's really a clutch issue, I'm very excited to see how long this will actually
work out for them. Every time they go up the hill, I'm getting a little scared. So obviously losing a lot of pace there.
Yeah, Uni Navarra now catching up. I expect them also to end of this lap potentially catching up and getting the blue flags, which could be also a challenge, right? If you have clutch issues, drivetrain issues, slowing down there dramatically, because he's currently driving in a very constant speed around the track, which seems to be working. Let's hope that doesn't affect them too much.
Yeah, I think it's...
Yeah, you're right, Christian. I mean, the overtaking zones also have a little bit of distance there, so timing it right maybe works out. But yeah, of course, Uni Navarra has to catch up first. Magdeburg, in the meantime, almost finishing their second lap here. Looking steady. Yeah, missing the live timing here, of course, a little bit. It's tough to tell what lap we are in. We know that Liberec probably has at least another 5 to 6 laps to go. And now, University of Navarra, Tactile Motorsport, right behind them.
We call them Omar.
Ah, mosquito.
Oh yeah, mosquito.
That's the same in Czech.
Omar are pakkers. I hate Omar.
Incredible story from them as well, of course. Starting with combustion cars, then adding another electric team, merging quite a while back already. And now there should be blue flags as well for C96. Let's hope they can keep running. It's actually good.
Yeah, it's a downhill section. That's, I think, to keep momentum, it's perfect. All right, we have one of our commentators here also, Lasse. You got through the paddock currently a little bit and through the queue. What's your impression?
Everything's going quite smoothly, I would say. There were a lot of teams preparing for the endurance, but I didn't see a lot of teams in a rush. Everything in a controlled manner. I also spoke to a couple of teams which started earlier today, and it seemed like quite many teams did finish in the Scooter News yesterday, and they had hoped for running in the autocross as well, but unfortunately we couldn't open the brake test and the autocross in parallel, so they had to wait for the brake tests until the autocross was finished. This is, I think, one of the reasons why we have quite a few running out of order teams in this morning session. But we can really look forward to the teams which are coming up now in the next time, because they all seem to be quite well prepared and also optimistic for their endurance runs.
Yeah, so I think the atmosphere in general just translates also to the track, it seems. We see a lot of cars currently running, and we haven't seen a single DNF. So yeah, it seems like everyone's very confident actually in their cars, as you described it.
Yep. And the mood in the paddock also just matches that. It's quite calm. You don't see a lot of people running around or walking fast, as we don't run.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Magdeburg here also consistent, and in the stream you see car 14 also now going into the back straight section. One of the cars also consistent running so far.
Yeah, and that's really nice to see. I spoke to them this morning as well, and they weren't exactly sure whether they would be able to finish, but so far I think it looks very steady, very nice, and they're on a good way.
You also spoke with the team, right? E14, Lasse, so I see a very interesting rear wheel slogan. Can you describe what that means? What
Yes.
does it say?
On their rear wing they say the last dance, so I got curious and asked them what kind of last dance this is, and this is their last car running rear wheel drive. From next year they're planning to go to four-wheel drive. Always quite a step to make. It changes quite a few concepts of the car and needs you to redo a lot of engineering, solve new problems, but also can give you quite a good performance gain, I would say, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we see it with the TU Berlin team, I think. This team also switched to all-wheel drive this year and putting up a incredible performance actually, and also acceleration. I think. Yeah, the run got disqualified, but I think still 3.5 seconds, second fastest time they put in here. And also yesterday, I mean, what were they finishing? 10th, I think, in autocross, with only the first lap of the first driver. That's also very impressive. So yeah, let's see what the car here from Navarra can do also next year. But so far, they're also looking very good, very consistent here. And if they actually got through it, it would be a huge achievement also for the team.
Yeah, Navarra. They're actually from San Sebastian in the Basque country. For the University of Navarra, though. A little bit misleading, of course. One of the teams that came from the first away. I mean, we have a couple Spanish teams here from Barcelona as well. Aros Racing as well, and of course, YTU Racing from Istanbul, that were the winners of the combustion category last year.
Now let's see if Magdeburg is catching up. Looks like it. I don't think it will be. They will be catching up in the next overtaking section, but maybe the one after that.
Yeah, Magdeburg, they picked up the pace by quite a bit, I would say, compared to the first couple laps.
Yeah,
And C96 seems to struggle getting out of the hairpin. Lap after lap. I mean, looking consistent, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, definitely. Not just for us, for the team mostly, of course, and definitely also for Michel in the driver's seat.
And got also lucky again there, getting the blue flags in the downhill section, keeping the momentum rolling down. It's again perfect timing.
I've got to say, Christian, the car from Navarra is extremely quiet. You can barely hear it at all.
Yeah, absolutely noticed that. I mean, we see sometimes the complete opposite here. I think Kiel also was it yesterday. Very, very loud electric car in comparison. And this is just basically passing by and you don't notice it.
Question in chat where YTU Racing is. Yeah, again, they won the combustion category last year, switched to electric. Oh, Christian, and I see UMD coming to a stop. Red light is still flashing. It's on the uphill section.
Yeah,
Ready to drive sound is on though.
Hear the sound, and they keep moving.
Yeah. Oh, that's a relief. That would have been the first actual car stopping here. Let's pray that they can continue for the rest of the endurance. But yeah, as I was about to say, YTU Racing switching to electric vehicles this year. Yeah, working on it for a long time. It's obviously their first competition as an electric team, all electric. Super tough to get through all the scrutineerings, which was their main focus, of course. And yeah, I don't think they passed all of them. At least they're not listed in the running order, as far as I could see this morning. But yeah, again, it's only the first competition of the year for most of the teams here, actually. So, still some time and room for improvement. And now we see E14 pulling in for the driver's change, finishing the first half of their endurance. Congratulations there.
Yeah, we directly see the scrutineers checking the car, if everything is still safe. Now they have 3 minutes to switch drivers around. Yeah, congratulations for the first step here. While Magdeburg, issues seems to be resolved. They continue driving.
Yeah, the drivers here, of course, helping each other to get into the cars. This really needs to be practiced because those 3 minutes, they seem somewhat long, considering that the drivers in technical inspection have to get out of the cars within 5 seconds. But yeah, once you're under stressed during the endurance, it's always tough to get it right. And any second that is above the 3 minutes is getting added to your total time in the end. So you're definitely trying to avoid those. bit quiet on track now, of course. Only 2 cars in. One overtake about to happen somewhat soon. UMD catching up again to TU Liberec that overtook him while they stood still for a bit. They made the uphill section last time they came around.
And the team members of Magdeburg were just indicating to their driver they have 2 laps to go. It's already close to the end for them. Let's hope they can keep it moving like they have been so far. It's been quite successful for them. They haven't had the chance to get through the driver change in a long while, they said. And this looks quite good here.
Yeah, 3rd car now almost back on track. Navarra, as you mentioned, last rear-wheel drive car for them. Waiting for the green flag.
As you can see also on the hashtag, or on the slogan on the rear wing, not hashtag. It's the last dance with rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, they also tried to get the autonomous system going this year. And it definitely seems to work out in endurance so far for the electric system. On the track they are, 11 laps to go for them. Meanwhile, Magdeburg, we didn't see the overtake on camera, but they got past Liberec seemingly without problems. With 1 more lap to go until the driver change.
Yeah, and Magdeburg getting the last lap sign here. Now for the driver last time going up the hill. We just had a quick shock where the car got to a standstill 2 laps ago.
Yeah, Christian, at the same time, the nerve-wracking is finally finished. FS Toll Racing Team from Liberec is passing their 22 laps and the last and got the finish flag here. Congratulations on finishing the endurance. 2nd half definitely nerve-wracking, but they are the first combustion car here now to finish the endurance.
Yeah, congratulations. Great achievement. I mean, how the driver managed that, get it through the finish line with this issues prominent. Crazy. Really, really impressive. Congratulations to all of the team members.
Now, of course, afterwards, the post-inspection. We heard it earlier. The only thing more nerve-wracking than scrutineering is post-scrutineering. When you think you're already finished, but then everybody, of course, checks whether the car was still rule compliant to not get an unfair advantage or that possibly was unsafe to drive. Every car has to go through that. And
yeah, one of my favorite comments in the chat. But if you have any other questions, please reach out, post them in the chat. We're happy to answer them. Also here during the live stream. And now Magdeburg getting the checkered flag, pulling in.
Yeah. Driver change for them. And in the meantime, we see the first of 3 Romanian teams on track. The 2nd combustion car, C21 Uni Timișoara. Yeah, their first lap now. Again, I mentioned there's 2 other Romanian teams in the combustion category. Put up a fierce fight in the discipline so far.
Yeah, and also yesterday they went with a very quick time also in autocross. I think it was 1:17, roughly about that. It's also very good, so they're up there in the category. And still everything possible, I would say, to be honest.
Yeah, with combustion cars, we usually see the drop-off in lap time between autocross and endurance not as big as electric vehicles. As I mentioned earlier, they very often do some lift and coast or use the regen to brake or don't run the full 80 kilowatts that they're allowed to, but that they of course do run in the autocross event for combustion cars is usually qualifying laps all the way to the finish.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we see the driver here getting into the rhythm in the first lap, taking it a little bit cautiously, but this absolutely makes sense. Just checking the track, how everything is. The conditions completely different to yesterday. Very, very sunny, very warm also, and less wind, obviously. Yeah, gaining some confidence slowly here.
Yeah, there must be a bunch of more grip on the track right now. I mean, it's heating up, as you mentioned, it's sunny. It's been sunny for the entire morning. I feel like the wind is picking up slightly compared to the start of the session. I mean, we're almost 2 hours in now.
Yeah, but at least today we have 17 degrees, and it also feels like 17 degrees, as we just saw also in the upper right corner in the stream. But yeah, yesterday, completely different story, right? Temperature 20 felt like 10.
Yeah, man, I was just putting up layer on layer. I'm sure the drivers were sort of freezing as well in their hands. It can get pretty cold with a lot of wind and the speeds they're going at.
Yeah, we maybe have the best conditions we had in a long time. I mean, last year also like 35 degrees Celsius here outside. It was hot, very, very hot.
Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah, very cold in comparison, and also changing throughout the days actually. So yeah, it's perfect conditions.
Yeah, and what I also have to say, what I really do like for the endurance is that there's no chance of rain as of now, or very little chance only. It was always a threat the last couple disciplines that we had, and acceleration in skid pad and in autocross. The teams had to gamble a little bit to get the best starting spot, which is I think fine for me in the autocross, but for endurance where they can't decide when they run, when it's based on their autocross times, I'm all for fair competition under similar conditions. So yeah, great to see that it seems like we will have that for the entirety of the day.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we've seen some weather changes here also in the past. Still remember 2018, basically standing a couple of centimeters of water on the track, which has also changed after that. So yeah, it's good conditions, also perfect for us to just see actually what car-driver combination is able to perform the best here today under these very similar conditions throughout the whole day.
In the meantime, Magdeburg also getting through their driver change on the track now for the second half of the endurance. Great to see all the teams being extremely consistent so far. And we can also hear and see the next combustion car getting ready to hit the track. It's C95 from Florence.
Yeah, Marshall's still holding them back, giving them some room also. C21 now passing through. Let's see when the Marshalls give the green flag for the team from Florence. Dario is the first driver here.
Yeah, Christian, they were extremely loud yesterday. A lot of bangs there, not just when shifting. At least here at the start, it doesn't seem to be the same.
No, it sounds good. It sounds very smooth. All the gears seems to go in as they're supposed to. Up the hill.
Yeah, Florence now pushing to get their first laps finished. 4 cars on track right now, Christian. A bunch of them already went for the autocross or did the autocross run yesterday. I I said earlier that we have 47 teams qualified for endurance today, and this is already in the running order number 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There have been a couple cars that unfortunately didn't make it to the start so far, at least.
Yeah, a couple of cars where we weren't really sure. Also, some of the Czech teams, eForce, Prague, we haven't seen, or Ignition Hamburg, we mentioned earlier. They are focusing on getting prepared also for the Austria event, which is next. So they didn't really, were able to get it running here, and this is how we got to position 18 actually, without any DNF so far.
Yeah, it seems like all the teams that are confident that they can participate in the endurance are reliable.
Yeah, maybe one team that stood out a little bit, we haven't caught up with them yet, is Ljubljana. They had yesterday a big technical failure, losing one tire, which actually ended up in the pond, and we see a car standing still on the uphill section.
Yeah, that's University of Navarra. They just passed Magdeburg. Magdeburg now going ahead, of course, again. But it seems like they can get going. Of course, always tough on that uphill section. We see surprisingly a lot of cars getting to the stop there. Also have in the history of this event. I mentioned it yesterday already. I mean, it's always this one section that you cannot really practice. Like, you can prepare all you want, but for that uphill section, that you don't really have, or on your test track at home, you just can't really practice for it. That it's tough for the drivers. It's tough on the car, especially as well. Going downhill, the loads are different, and I hear a lot of bangs actually again on the C95 from Florence. They're still going. I mean, it wasn't an issue for them yesterday, it seems like. They just continued all 4 of their auto runs with that.
Yes. Thank you. Sylvia, you need. Really? Even like
UMD Racing now making their way up, of course. They might get caught up by Navarra again in a couple laps.
Yeah, we also got a question in the chat when car number C11 will run. I saw a huge fan base also in the chat yesterday, and I think they are position 25. So we have some cars to go until they will actually hit the track. Now the loud bangs on the Florence car are present, or more present at least, in comparison to when they started.
Yeah, Magdeburg, one of the very few teams that still goes to FSUK, or has been going there in the recent history. I mean, especially since 2016, not many teams from mainland Europe, so to say, have been going there. We've seen a couple of teams from the UK here. Last year we had Cardiff and Oxford Brookes here. Unfortunately, none of them here this year. The rules, of course, different.
Yeah, I mean, for them it's a huge challenge, right? I mean, we have different rule sets on mainland Europe and on basically UK soil. Also in the US it's different. Also China has their own rule set, as we know, but yeah, it's extra tough, right? You need to basically prepare your car from different rule sets to just come here. And it's for the team always tough to prioritize where to go. But for UK teams, I think it's pretty logical choice, and also for the mainland Europe teams, it's a very logical choice.
Yeah, yeah. Magdeburg, as mentioned, been building electric cars since 2022. Best result so far, the finish in endurance. Formula SAE UK, and they're getting close to it here again. It's unfortunate we don't have the times right now. I mean, of course, they're slightly slower than the top 2 finishers in the electric category from Weingarten and Löwe right now.
But Jonas, to be honest, so far it's easy also to keep track, right? Because basically all the cars that attended so far have also finished the endurance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like none of the out-of-order runners actually DNF'd so far.
Yeah, seconds to see. Meanwhile, Navarra catching up to E20 again. They seem to be on a very, very similar pace. I think it's only about 1 second off between them. Just going steadily here. Drivers looking comfortable. I don't see a lot of cones. I mean, this is also always a big thing, right? If you're a driver that is quicker by 1 second, but hit a cone every lap, and yeah, just as I say that, actually, there's another cone for Florence here. But yeah, if you hit a cone every lap, it's not just really worth being that 1 second quicker every time. And this also impacts the driver decisions for a lot of teams.
Yeah, we just also saw here like Florence hitting a cone, and Marshall's discussing if it's actually out or not. That must have been a millimeter decision. We don't know what the outcome was, but yeah, very interesting also to see how serious the track marshals here take everything. It's a great crew of volunteers we have here.
Christian, and we have yellow flags on track. The first DNF of the day, unfortunately.
Oh man.
For E14, University of Navarra. It wasn't too long to go until the finish of the endurance. Really, really, really unfortunate for them.
Yeah.
Gutting, definitely.
Yeah, it's sad to see. I was hoping that the streak is going on for
Yeah.
a little bit longer, but yeah, unfortunate for them.
I agree. They were going so consistent. You can see it in the driver's Gastics as well, that he is a bit shocked as well. Disappointed, of course. Good job by the marshals, though, getting that car off the track immediately. I don't think any other car was impacted by it at all. 3 other cars on track right now. C21, C95,
Yeah, it looks like we have
and E20, of course.
a combustion car fight on our hands, because we have the next car on track, not yet, but lining up at the starting line, number C26.
Yeah, from Tio Yazi. Next Romanian team, I mentioned earlier, we have that fight between those 3 Romanian teams on our hands here. Cool livery, in my opinion, they put on their car. Now tackling the 22 kilometers of this endurance.
Yeah, speaking of cool livery, do we still have the poll open, right?
I think we do, yeah. The poll is still open. It's getting posted in the chat regularly. It is in the description of the live stream, so keep voting there. There will be some prizes for the winners, as far as I know.
Yeah, keep voting, keep subscribing to the channel. We have our goals set. Yeah, when I look at car number 95 from Florence, looks their driver is getting more and more comfortable. The car doesn't sound as would... Oh yeah, again, loud bangs. So it's not really shifting super reliable, it seems. But in the corners you can actually see the driver picking up the pace and getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. The average pace of the cars on track is increasing as well. All of them on different tire compounds. Florence notably on Pirellis, with the very few teams that run them 13-inch wheels. And yeah, Magdeburg being the only electric car on track right now. A bunch of cones there for C26 up the hill. Another. Oh my god!
Ah, this looks like the front wing also damaged.
This is, yeah, that front wing is off, Christian.
Oh man, it's unfortunate, but suspension looking okay actually.
Yeah.
And the driver also obviously moving.
Yeah,
It's all good.
Yeah, he must be gutted.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, obviously, visibly
frustrated.
Yeah, we saw it in the corner before already. The car was struggling with really tight corners here, and in the hairpin up the hill that we've actually seen a lot of cars struggling with. Most of them got to a stop before the tire barrier though. Luckily it's a very slow pace part of the track, so nobody got hurt visibly.
Yeah, actually I can't remember seeing a car hitting the tire barrier there in the past years. Maybe it was close a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's of course extremely unfortunate for them, for the team. Not only that's a DNF, but they have to remanufacture that front wing for the upcoming competitions. And we see Magdeburg coming to a standstill as well.
Oh man, what is happening right now?
Yeah, on exactly the same position as they came to a stop earlier. The ready to drive sound, I can hear it up to here on the stage, and they're going again. So exactly the same thing as happened to them before. They only got a couple more laps to go here. Let's hope they can push through. And it seems like they are going again.
Yeah, looks like they're driving as nothing happened. I mean, it's good. It's very good. In the meantime, we see car number 2, E2, lining up at the starting line, waiting for the green flag. And also you can see on the stream, vote for the best livery and best team of endurance.
Yeah. Yeah, E2 from Pilsen, one of the local teams here.
Yeah, they just hit the track.
Third year in a row now that they are building electric cars, also struggling with the uphill corner there, taking the cone, not hitting the barrier though, luckily for them. Yeah, the teams really start to struggle with that corner.
Yeah, I mean, the corner up there, we saw it also yesterday, it's very, very tight. Normally we see if the driver is not getting around the corner, we see the car stopping and not hitting the barrier. But with combustion cars, you always have the complexity of, that the driver needs to actuate the clutch actually very, very fast to not have the engine pushing the car even more to the outside of the corner. And I think this was just something that also happened here. Yeah, in the meantime, Pilsen is actually going for it in the first lap, looking very good here in the stage section.
Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned, third year for them. Electric cars, all-wheel drive as well. They didn't start in acceleration and skid pad, finished autocross. But yeah, they already showed in their first season in 2024 when finishing Portugal that they are capable of building electric cars as well, of course.
Yeah, and we see yellow flags up the hill. I don't exactly see what's happening, but a car has come to a stop.
Yeah, you're right. It's the same corner again, Christian.
Yeah. I don't see. Maybe we can switch to camera.
That
over
might
there.
actually be Pilsen as well.
Yeah, I think it's Pilsen.
They just passed us here before in their second lap.
But I don't know if they also had struggles to get around the corner.
It's definitely not C95. They just passed us. Still going strong, still going steady.
So the car is getting pushed, so maybe it just stopped. The drone is now flying over. Let's see what kind of footage we can see.
Yeah, they're turned the other way. This doesn't look great for them, of course. And driver is out of the car. Unfortunately, that's the end for the endurance for car E02. Really unfortunate for them, of course. Meanwhile, C21 still going strong here. We see reliable combustion cars now on the track.
There on the right, we see the car number 2 with a lot of marshals around.
Yeah, we've seen them struggling before in that corner. I really hope they did not hit the tire barrier as well.
Yeah, I think we will do our best to try to get some info here. What happened to the Pilsen car?
Meanwhile, car E45 BRS Motorsport from UAS St. Augustin on track. So been building electric cars for quite some years now. Car name Eduard. Of course, yeah, four motors as well for them. Let's see how they can finish in the endurance. Yeah, Christian, we are getting more towards the end of the morning session. Only seen a few DNFs so far. Everyone's been rather reliable.
Yeah, I think this so far has been, I think, the story. We haven't seen a lot DNFs. Like in the first 1.5 hours, basically no DNF at all. Driver here giving some hand signs. Yeah, still keeps going. Yeah, so super reliable, all the teams, especially also the out-of-order running teams that just finished also scrutineering or didn't set a lap time yesterday out of whatever reason. But yeah, we also saw some action already.
Yeah, of course, the shocker here. The barrier hit from Teo Yazi. St. Augustin, in the meantime, showing the exact place. Doing it really well. Getting around the corner there. Saman here proving that he's got some experience driving those cars. Car seems to have high maneuverability.
Yeah, it seems a little bit that they still have some potential on the straight, but we covered this earlier, right? This also has to do with driving strategy, Are they actually lifting in the approach of the corner, lifting coast to just save some energy, or if they're actually like releasing the full power, which it doesn't seem so. But yeah, it's a very individual approach you need to have here, also based on your car performance package. Thermals also a very important factor here. The battery is also heating up quite a bit if you drain it with full power. And yeah, of course the efficiency also counts in.
Yeah, they look like they're one of the quickest cars on track right now. Closely getting followed by car C95 from Florence, coming from their driver change. Nicolo now taking over the wheel. But it seems like they're also waiting for car C21 to get past the finish line.
Yeah, maybe one thing we can also mention, like the marshals currently in the morning session so far doing a great job with the overtaking zones. Very good feeling for timing here. They've proven.
Yeah, nobody got stuck behind anybody for longer than they really needed to.
Yeah, like no unreasonable blocking happened.
And Florence is back up the hill, looking good right out of the gate. One cone there on the left. Of course, the driver has to get used to this track as well. There is a driver's or track walk in the morning, of course, where all the drivers can have a look at the track. Some bring measurement devices as well to check the track, get the GPS on. And yeah, and they are also followed by the next combustion car. Making their way now back to the end of their first lap. It looks very consistent, no issues here. I mean, we see that earlier, for example, with Theo Liberet, that had a really consistent first half of their endurance and then started to struggle in their second half a little bit. Florence coming out of the gate just as they finished before, maybe even quicker here. Driver looking very consistent.
Nie widzę jeszcze. P67 mam.
Of course, now it's always a bit easier when the tires are heated up for the second run. And yeah, now camera on C67 from Warsaw. I think it's also the first four-cylinder sound
Yeah, I was just
that we hear.
Just gonna mention it. Great sound we have here from the team. And hitting a cone, 2 cones there in the slalom uphill section.
Yeah. Yeah, with the slaloms, that's
And
always
again-
kind of tricky.
Again, 2 cones over there. He's like really trying to find the limit.
If you miss the entry, it's always tough to get your rhythm in the slalom again towards the exit. T. Warsaw definitely trying to make up some ground here, putting on a show.
Again, a cone in the downhill section. It's a very, very tricky section, but we haven't seen that many cones again. Some cones there on the inside.
Warsaw, we can hear the driver pushing in every corner here, heavy on the brakes, immediately on the throttle.
Yeah, very aggressive driving style we see from him. Slowing
And now getting a
down.
little bit slower. Did he maybe miss the downshift there, Christian?
Yeah, we have a yellow flag out. So this will impact car number 45. 45.
It's a really tough spot to come to the full stand as well.
Marshall's already preparing the path for the car to
I
pass.
think the car is off, Christian.
Yeah,
He's trying to restart it.
Yeah, especially tricky on the uphill section. Even if he restarts, just get the car going in on the uphill is extremely difficult, also for combustion. As you see, the car is slightly rolling back.
BRS Racing now passing them. Marshalls seemingly having it under control. Let's hope they can get going. I don't hear the engine sound yet again. Yellow flags, of course, for C95. It's not going to cost them too much time, as they can also skip that one corner, of course.
Yeah, but driver visibly slowing down, which is also needed for safety reasons, of course. Now
Still
the
trying
next
to
car-
start. It looks like you can hear the starter still.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good. I mean, you hear the starter. It seems.
Also C21 getting past. Camera now back on E45 from UAS St. Augustine in the other half of the track.
Yeah, I think the marshals will give him some time still to get the car going again. But now it seems they're pushing the car to the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just to clear the track a little bit more for the passing cars, still giving him some time, or if the DNF is already confirmed.
Yeah, this would be gutting for them. I mean, one of the quickest cars in the combustion category yesterday.
Also there again, great job by the marshals, anticipating where now the car needs to go. And Florence will just basically be able to drive through the whole slalom.
Yeah.
That's actually, I think...
It was probably quicker for them.
Yeah,
actually.
I was just gonna say, it's probably gonna be quicker than going through the slalom,
Yeah.
despite running safely by.
And we can confirm, unfortunately, the driver from C67 TU Warsaw is leaving the car. And that is it for their endurance hopes.
Yeah, that's sad to see. I mean, driver looks very disappointed. Just got going. Great sounding car also for us.
And it looked really strong, Christian, in the beginning.
Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have shaved a lot more seconds out of it. Yeah, the car's now getting moved on the grass, moved to the back, and then we also see the track clear again.
E45 still going strong.
Yeah.
It's a quite impressive car. Some pretty cool new inventions on there always. I think notably the additively manufactured wheel carriers with integrated brake calipers as well. It's a nice solution there.
Yeah, I really like the
Formula Real Book allows.
really like the technical solution some of the teams pull up here. One of the more complex ones you just mentioned. In the meantime, one note, clear, like the track is now clear again. Very elegant way to solve this from the marshals.
Yeah.
So big shout out here.
And the next combustion car is on track as the third of the Romanian teams. C11 now, Blue Streamline Racing on track.
Yeah, and I think the chat will be happy about this. So a lot of mentionings yesterday also. Also about Florence actually.
Yeah, Blue Streamline Racing. Definitely no strangers to the podium, I would say.
Absolutely not, no.
I mean, they won FS Spain last year as well. Won it for 3 years in a row. Also won FS Balkans 3 years in a row. Came first in Romania last year. Extremely reliable car. We mentioned this. Their last DNF really was in 2022.
St. Augustine standing
E45
still.
is also coming to a stop.
Meantime, we saw here also Florence just touching a cone, but not outside the box.
Yeah, C12, of course, having to go slow now, passing the standing car from E45, and that unfortunately is also a DNF for BRS Motorsport. Gutting for them.
Yeah, looks like the car is not really pushable. I don't know if there's maybe a mechanical issue somewhere in the drivetrain or motors section.
I don't know how to put it louder, sorry. Okay. You can tell them that...
But yeah, in the meantime, C11 constantly going around the track. It's one of the cars that you actually see from a long distance and you directly notice it. You directly know which car you're speaking about. Very unique rear wheel style, but also front end plates actually. From an aerodynamic point of view, very interesting.
Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, and car St. Augustin 45 push to the side. So that's also DNF for them.
Yeah, still. Oh, never mind. No yellow flags anymore. Blue Streamline Racing now going quickly. Again, last time they didn't finish the endurance was in 2022. So the last 3 years they finished all their endurances, finished on multiple podiums here of the almost top European combustion cars, definitely. And the second to last combustion car that we will see in the normal running order today at least.
Yeah, C21 now getting the checkered flag here.
Well, where else are we supposed to put it? I don't know, like maybe a little further from us.
And that is it for them as well. Congratulations, finishing the endurance, consistent running here, and we are left with 2 cars on track now.
Yeah, remarkable achievement. Congratulations, C21. Now getting through post-scrutineering.
Yes. Safety precaution.
Great job.
What happened? AMS error. Has the team already been asked to come? The driver has
Florence, and of course, the University of Brasov here, still on track.
And we can also see here the car in a little bit more detail. What we mentioned earlier, aerodynamic package, very unique.
Yeah, it's not just the rear wing, Christian, it's also the front wing without end plates.
They have kind of an end plate, but yeah, it's a mix between end plate and the wing continuing to the outside.
But it seems like the package is working quite nicely for them. We love to see different approaches. This is also what the Formula SAE rulebook allows, of course.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freedom. I would say especially for combustion cars, where you have the choice of various different engines that, you know, give you benefits in various disciplines.
Yeah.
And therefore a lot of design freedom.
You have the choice of different engines, definitely 1-cylinder, 4-cylinder, whatever you can think of. Basically limited by displacement and air flow, but you can also add a hybrid system to it, which I think we will see a little bit later today.
Yeah. Yeah, there will be the last combustion car, BME Motorsport. They were the fastest yesterday by quite some margin. So they will start with around a lot of electric cars later on. So we will definitely be able to hear them.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, they they have probably one of the most complex cars here, and definitely one of the most complex cars in the combustion category, adding electrical hybrid system to their combustion engine or to their combustion drivetrain.
Guys, please.
But yeah, C95 going strong here, getting more and more up to pace, it looks like.
Yeah, Christian, I think Brasov is currently the fastest car on track. They're catching up a little bit to them. C95, though, getting the last lap sign now. And I'm sure they can stay ahead of C11 for their last lap. One more kilometer for them until they finish endurance. Hitting off another cone here. Driver really pushing it.
And then you can start focusing. It's a safety.
Oh, now you've got
Yeah, question in the chat, maybe Lasse for you. Before we see Florence finishing, what team surprised you the most compared to last year?
That is a really difficult question since I wasn't here last year and I didn't follow the competition along so much. But I have to say I'm generally very surprised about how reliable the cars are in this morning session. So I was expecting a lot more DNFs right off the start.
Yeah, before I will go into detail, C95 now about to finish. Getting the checkered flag, pulling in, and that is it. Congratulations on finishing the endurance. 22 kilometers for them in the books. Now getting hopefully through post-engineering and the next car that's finished. And of course, meanwhile on track, Lund already finished their first half lap.
And Lund is actually the last car that will start for the morning session. So we've gone through it quite well. And the Lund car, I think, also looks really beautiful here in the sunshine.
Yeah, Lund, I mentioned this yesterday, always those iconic shark fins, their rear wing end plate. Building combustion cars up until 2021 and then switching over to electric vehicles now in their 5th competition year for electric cars as well.
Yes, over there, where you can see those drivers going over the fence down, there is a cage with a wheel pushing it.
And it does seem like there is actually another car that is getting ready to start. University of Ghent. Red light is flashing. E51, the second Belgian team that we see here. I know that's always a fierce competition between those two teams. Formula Electric Belgium and University of Ghent. So let's see who's able to finish the endurance quicker than the other.
And we hear the team chanting from Ghent as their car starts the lap. That's a good support from the team.
Lund, meanwhile, also finishing their second lap.
There is no. Everything
You
is
see
off,
the
almost.
LiDAR in front of their nose cone here. Unfortunately, they couldn't participate in the driverless disciplines. Took them a little bit longer to get through all the scrutiny rings. Again, first competition for them of the year. But yeah, great to see that they're running around one of 3 Swedish teams as well. KTH Stockholm and of course University of Chalmers participating here as well. Chalmers, I hope we can see them later on. They had that accident in the acceleration yesterday. They broke both of their push rods in their front suspension on the high aero loads. I know that they've worked quite long on it. I saw new parts on their car. So let's hope they can also make it to the endurance later.
There's a car in front of me.
Yeah, University of Ghent, around 220 kilograms. Newly innovated in-wheel motors. And the drivers all here for the first time. So they completely revamped their lineup compared to last year.
Can I get ja na trójce będę musiał wymienić baterię do transmisji.
Seemingly coping well with the track so far. And of course, not too easy. I mean, we've seen a couple drivers already struggling a lot, hitting the barrier even, hitting couple cones, downhill section, uphill section as well. But again, it's not as windy, only 8 kph of wind, wind gusts also only up to 9 yesterday. This was all above 20, quite consistently actually. Drivers are getting more comfortable now from E51. You can hear them, or we can hear the car sliding in the corners. You can also see it, of course. Live timing is back now. And it's actually great to see now. I guess we have to tell the story a little bit here. E22, the first finisher of today. The other Belgium team that we have here, also still leading the endurance in the electric category, just 2 seconds ahead of Weingarten. So the cones will definitely decide here.
Can you take it?
Of course,
Remove it like
all those times with without cones added to them. So provisional times, of course.
here.
This one, perfect.
Okay.
See? Can you move a little bit?
And
Few DNFs we've seen now. Combustion category is led by University of Florence, 32.28 right now. Just about 4 minutes slower than former Electric Belgium, but comfortably in the lead. And this is exactly what C11 from Brasov is now trying to take on, the time they're trying to tackle.
just hold it here. Yeah. You want to lower it? And I will lower it.
Is it us? Okay, sorry, my bad.
I don't see any other cars getting lined up as of now for the morning session, it seems. So those three seemingly the last cars that we will see for now. One combustion car, 2 electric cars.
Is it good? The height?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lund is actually getting a little bit slower right now. Meanwhile, Brasov pulling in for the driver's change after their first half of the endurance. Good job so far, extremely reliable and consistent. We mentioned it before, the drivers really consistent. The car always very reliable. No DNF since 2022. Now getting ready for their second stint. Alexandru taking over here, lengthening the belts, getting comfortable in the car just now. And then hopefully getting ready for the second half of the endurance. Yeah, Lund here on their way back still. Getting caught up by Ghent now. I'm sure that we will see an overtake in just a minute. Potentially even here in front of the stage, right where we can see them. We are. Lund pulling out. Well done by the marshals. Not a lot of time lost for E51 from Ghent, and Lund is back on track. And now they are the only cars on track, obviously being able to push up until C11 joins them on track again. They were one of the quicker cars before the driver's change. Lund seemingly struggling a bit with getting up the hill here.
Yeah, I think they will give some room to C11 until they release him onto the track with a green flag. I mean, they have been fast and very consistent also over time and very reliable, not only this year, last year also. Fans in the chat already there, perfect.
Low voltage master switch and traction system master switch seem to be off and out.
I liked how the driver actually looked to the left when he was entering the track. Not completely only relying on the green flag.
Yeah, just making sure here.
Looking over your shoulder. Yeah,
Better
always when
safe
you
than
switch
sorry.
lanes.
But now, of course, locked in. 2 watts ahead of him. 11 more kilometers for Blue Streamline Racing from Brasov.
It's blocked right now.
Ghent now, of course, picking up the pace now that they've passed Lund.
There's
Sure, wait.
Putting quite some distance between them, actually,
Fabian?
already.
10 minutes have passed, so it should be safe.
Lund lacking some power right now.
yeah, they're not really accelerating. They're basically driving with a constant speed
Yeah,
around the corners and on the straight, not really accelerating out of them.
it seems like the driver is making the most out of it still.
Yeah, you basically also don't see him braking. Like no brake light on in any of the cases. I mean, he's also not braking, you can visibly see it.
Yeah, Ghent already finishing the endurance last year. 16th overall.
Big slide there.
And the second one is here. And it's...
And yeah, but Ghent can get going.
So now
All
it's
good.
unplugged, and every
Had a moment there.
Yeah, that cost them some time. Good
Yeah.
to see them back on track though.
Yeah, had an oversteer moment. I don't know if this was actually an off track or not. Couldn't see it quite well. But yeah, the driver came to a standstill, sliding around and then re-entering.
And these 2 cones, I saw them held up in the air by the track marshals. So these 2 cones were hit by the car, but I also couldn't see whether the car went off track or not.
Yeah, I think we have to wait until we get the official results for that. But yeah, good that they keep going.
Brasov now catching up to Lund here. I'm sure up on the hill they will probably be overtaking them. This is probably the longest distance as well between 2 overtaking zones. There's just not too much of space in between them to create a second lane for the drivers getting overtaken.
Yeah, it's a little bit of unfortunate timing also. But again, like going in the downhill section, going into the overtaking zone, I think is quite advantageous for Lund in this case. They just can keep continuing with their speed.
Yeah, times now back on screen here. Lund posting around 140s, quite a bit behind their quickest times of 125 that they posted earlier. Blue Streamline Racing ahead in the CV category right now. A good 1 minute and 30 seconds ahead of Florence Racing Team. If everything goes to plan for them, it seems like they have a really good chance of taking on the lead in the CV category. Eight more laps to go for them. This lap, of course, is not going to be as quick as the previous one. We're having to wait for Lund to pull up into that overtaking zone.
Yeah, but now I think the track is clear for them. So you can really push for it without any disturbance.
And Gentner also getting close to Lund again. They're still putting up really decent times here, actually. Only 40 seconds behind the lead right now. Also helped by the Belgian team from Leuven, E22, former Electric Belgium. Average time of 120.3.
Yeah, we can really hear the car 11 from the other side of the track, going to the limit, just hitting the rough limiter a couple of times. Now let's see what the lap time is. One corner left until the finish line.
The guy was in front of me.
Meanwhile, both Lund and Unigent getting closer to their driver change. Fans here cheering, of course, for their team, for their car. They've worked on so hard for the entire year.
Yeah, I mean, C11 just put in their fastest lap time. 1:16.65 in the last lap. I mean, clear track, everything, perfect condition.
Yeah, they're extending their lead compared to Florence. We always have to mention the delta is compared to the same amount of laps of the leading team right now. So the time that Florence had after 15 laps, 1 minute 42 seconds lead right now for C11 after those 15 laps. And if they continue to go like this, I'm sure that they may extend their lead in the following laps as well.
Yeah, and again, clean lap for them. No overtakes needed. Let's see if the driver can actually... Yeah, again, beating his lap time. 1:16.2 seconds.
Last lap now for Unigent before the driver change. He is about to pull in. Checkered flag now for him, for Anton. Really, really good job there so far. Let's hope it can continue like this after the driver change. Impressive drive, very consistent as well. Only 30 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, and pulling similar lap times as C11. Blue streamline here. Jonas, we just saw the team from Ghent also lifting up the nose cone for their car, not the cone, but in general, the carbon parts above the nose. What do they do there in the driver change?
So usually what they do, especially if they have drivers, actually, before we come to that, E46 from Lund also, of course, pulling in for the driver change here. Yeah, but what they usually do there is adjusting the pedal box distance from the driver's seat, just to suit the ergonomics and the height, I suppose, from different drivers. This, of course, also has to happen within those 3 minutes that we mentioned earlier. So yeah, it really is a requirement for the driver or for the designers, for the engineers to design parts that can be adjusted very, very quickly.
It is almost like a dance, this driver change. The officials dancing around the car, making sure that it's still mechanically right. The one driver coming out, the second driver coming in, the third team member assisting both drivers in getting out and in the car. All happening a lot of people in short time and the small space around the car. It's almost like a choreographed dance.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of routine is needed for that, right? You need to train that also, and for a lot of teams, first time here, you have 3 minutes, but so far everything good. Well, we see now C11 lap times a little bit slower, losing 1 second in comparison to their best lap so far. They have a clear track because all the other cars are in the driver change area. The driver doesn't need to worry about any overtakes, any blue flags. You're just directly going for it. And he definitely is doing that.
I've also heard from drivers that this is quite exhaustive to drive this track with a lot of corners, a lot of low-speed parts as well. So it drains a lot of energy and power from your hands. Maybe towards the endurance race, this is also an influencing factor for the performance of the drivers.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't really have parts where you can relax, right? We don't have long straights at all. Maybe the uphill section a little bit, but also there you have a slalom followed by a short straight and then again directly going into the tight section, right?
Yeah, and I guess also some of the sections downhill, which might be a little bit faster, although they also have a bunch of corners. I imagine they are quite challenging to drive since it's going downhill, you're getting quite fast, and also the floor is not completely even there. So you really need to find the limits of your car here.
Yeah, and I mean, next to the physical challenge, I think also like keeping the concentration up during the endurance is quite a challenge here because we have so many technical sections. Also off-combat situations like downhill. Wind is not a big problem, it seems, today.
Also the temperatures are relatively mild for endurance comparison. So we do have a lot of sun here. It is warmer significantly than in the past days, but still very manageable for the drivers and the car. Although I will say the drivers, they are all sweating in their driver suits. It's quite exhausting to drive the car. The sun does its thing as well.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, from a condition perspective, I don't think it can get any better. It's not too warm, not too cold. Sun is out.
Yeah, it's in the right window, I would say.
Yeah, we just keep following car number C11. We don't see any other car on track currently, still in the driver change area. The other two cars. So yeah, now we follow the car going downhill here. These are the corners we mentioned earlier. Off camber a little bit. Very unique track in that regard, up the hill and then down the hill. While we see some discussion going on car number 46. With Luke already inside the car. It looks like rear right corner. Some discussion ongoing.
Yeah, the scrutineer is always looking for the state of the suspension. If everything is still fixed, or if there have been any leakages of fluids, this would be bad for the team. But we hope for the best, that they don't find anything critical.
Yeah. In the meantime, we saw the last lap sign for Blue Streamline. Yeah, and I mean, one thing to mention maybe here, if the marshals discuss with the team members, and this is exceeding the 3 minutes, but they come to the conclusion that the car is safe to go, then this time will not be added to the overall time. And yeah, I like the reminder on the chat. Also, please continue subscribing. We don't know what is actually going to happen when we hit the 2000, but we ask you also to put some suggestions what maybe one of our sponsors can do in the award ceremony. This doesn't look good.
Yeah, car E51 being pushed away.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. DNF for them during the driver change. It's, I think, actually the first driver change DNF we saw. But let's focus on C11 going past the stage for one last time here. Checkered flag is out. And they are finishing the endurance. Congratulations.
Very well done, C11.
And what a time. I mean, in the last laps, they really could also just keep going. No other car on track, no blue flags. Perfect opportunity also for the driver and to use that. No issues. Now post-scrutineering, and then we can see what's the outcome of it. But yeah, we don't have any other car on track, and it doesn't look like we will, to be honest.
Yeah, we're also still waiting for the Lund car, which should be in the driver change.
Yes.
But by the normal way the things go, we should have seen them on track already again.
Yeah, we see already, I think, the push bar now getting mounted on the car. Yeah, that doesn't look good. But yeah, we're waiting for some info, or maybe some pictures there. We see the driver still in their car. But yeah, now we have also the official statement on the stream. E46 gets disqualified during the driver change. That's actually the second car, just directly one after another, getting a DQ here. Yeah, that's sad for them, but the marshals need to be sure that everything is safe to go. And I think there were some discussions on the right corner, rear right corner, in the suspension area. But yeah, we will see what we can find out here. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate ending to the morning session here, guys. Seen a lot of surprises, seen a lot of heartbreaks as well. A few really interesting moments here, I would say. But yeah, this was only the beginning.
Yeah, it was only the beginning, and what a beginning. I mean, for me, two things stood out. One thing is, it took very, very long until we saw first DNF. Very surprising. We had the out-of-order cars in the beginning. Everyone went through, like finished the endurance. Perfect. Haven't seen this in a long time, actually. And then also it took a long time for the first car to DNF. But yeah, then speaking of DNFs, I think the second more dramatic scene we saw on the upper section, in the tight corner, in the hairpin, basically. What happened, Jonas?
I mean, Theo Yasi, the driver, unfortunately misjudging the corner a little bit, had some issues before there already with tight corners, and then hitting the tire barrier. Unfortunate there, definitely for him. Unfortunate for the team to finish that, to finish it like that. But yeah, that's just sometimes how it is. The track is tough. We've mentioned it multiple times, and I don't think this will be the last driver mistake that we see doing this endurance. But yeah, that all sparks more excitement for the afternoon session. The weather is supposed to stay the same as it is right now, so I don't think that any team will be impacted by a lot of rain, by a lot of wind. Conditions are very similar, and yeah, not much more to say. We will see you in about 1 hour. Anything left to say, guys?
Yeah, maybe Lasse from you. One last impression you got also.
Very, very successful endurance session, I would say, overall. Although we, as you mentioned, we did have a few DNFs, unfortunately, as it is usually the case. But overall, I really liked it. Perfect weather, perfect conditions. Very good performance from all the teams. A lot of finishes. Also some finishers which I think didn't expect to finish, so they will be all the happier about it.
Yeah, that's true.
We saw and heard a lot of cheering, and that's good. That's what we're here for.
Okay, perfect. Then short outlook. We have a lot of the top teams coming up. We saw the close standings just earlier in the chat. So yeah, stay tuned. We have it right here. 1 point between number 1 and number 2 currently.
Provisionally, of course.
Provisionally, of course, yeah. Yeah, see you in the afternoon session. Have a good break.
See you.